Hey, Jeff, can you hear me all right in there? You can't?
Out of the music.
Oh, you know, this mic's not going through that board. Hey, guys, welcome to Sober Talk. We have a special guest, Jeff Graham. Graham's here. And we have one of his buddies going to be calling in. So that's going to be cool. All right.
Glad I could help.
Oh, jeez. We got to tell him what I did later on. I'm not sure that we're going to take a second and let the crowd build up. Hey, guys, welcome to Sober Talk. Got a special guest. Jeff Graham's here. You know, I say call Jeff Graham. It goes, calling Jeff Graham. It doesn't say your name right. My Siri doesn't know how to talk. Melinda McRae's here. Melinda, is your last name really Beer? McRae Beer. Isn't that great? Welcome to Sober Talk, Melinda Beer. That's awesome.
Bummer of a birthmark.
Oh, jeez Louise. Bummer of a birthmark. Oh, you mean for the last name?
Last name Beer,
oh, yeah. So let me see if we are indeed live on some other pages. I'm not sure that we are. I think there's some latency. I don't know what to see. So either way, guys, welcome to Sober Talk. Before this show started, I told Jeff that we were going live, and I came in and did the whole announcement. And
Such a buddy.
And then I said
Such a pal.
Then I said something very, very cruel. I looked over, and you were looking at me like, did he just say that?
I thought, well, Sober Talk has just come to an end. Hey, that was great.
That was. You're like, man, I drove down here and everything.
Out of work talk.
Out of work. That's
talk.
What would have happened. Let me check. We got a really good show. You're bringing in one of your someone in your circle.
Good buddy from up north in Cleveland.
Hey, from Missouri. Let's go over here and check Tom Mabe Comedy and see if it's live over there, because I'm showing really low numbers yet. Maybe people are just getting tired of the show. Everyone's cured, Jeff. We cured them in 55 episodes. It's not live over there. Well, hence the problem. That's the problem. So let's fix this.
I did maintain my streak of getting lost 3 times in a row coming down here. Yeah, new variety each time. I pick a new exit to get off wrong.
You always say I'm 5 minutes away, and 30 minutes you're like, you call me later. So it's not too hard to find. But I don't know what's going on with my cross posting. If something's going on. But this is good. It's
interesting. Every time I'm here, you have technical problems.
I do.
Thank you so much.
I'm just so glad we had a good laugh. Carl, I'll tell you off the air later what I did.
One of us had a good laugh.
You had a heart attack.
Yeah.
I guess I should put a hat on. Look, I need to go to Jiffy Lube and get an oil change in my hair. All right, so we're going to go back over here, and we'll be right with you guys. The Tom Mabe Comedy, and we will rock it out. So how long did it take you to get down here from your neck of the woods?
Well, because we have all the people that have no idea about Cincinnati and Ohio couldn't care less, but the bridge being out, it added about 40 minutes. Yeah, so I did get a nice tan because probably half of the trip is staring straight into the sun.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad.
I'll have to give you a little extra.
But I'm that dedicated. A little extra will make it a lot littler.
Okay, guys. Okay, I apologize. Let's get to it. We got your guys lined up, and hey, welcome to Sober Talk. You're here because you need to get sober. You want to get sober. Perhaps you're just sober curious. Either way, we are glad you're here. How do you know if you have a drinking problem? If it causes problems. You and I have we've led parallel lives, the same kind of. You and I are both doing the steps. We know that's not for everybody, but we're doing the AA. And I'm digging it. Sometimes I'm not digging it, but I talk to you on the phone, and you'll go, "Oh, that's what they meant."
Yeah, it's like they say in that it's progress. It's the journey. Some days are better than others. And people get frustrated and say, "I'm having a bad day." Well, you're normal. That's I don't think any of us don't have bad days. That's all part of it.
But you know what I'm thinking? You were talking about, I want to talk about, you brought something up. Oh my gosh, what did you say? It's not about getting sober, man. It's about fixing what the hell's wrong with you.
Yeah, I can be strong and say I'm not going to drink today. I'm not going to drink today and get through it. But if I if something's just eating me up, or I'm ticked about something, or someone's, rocked my world, or finances, or health, or family, or whatever. If I don't fix those things, they're going to come back tomorrow. They're going to come back the next day, and they're going to keep coming back until they finally break me. So I got to fix the reasons that I drank.
Then you're self-medicating.
Yeah, self-medicating to get away from that stuff.
You said something the other day about Sunday, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's me to a T." You dread it Monday so bad that you could not enjoy Sunday
because of work. I missed out on a lifetime of Sundays because I was constantly all I thought all day Sunday was it's just the clock is counting down until Monday morning hits, and I got to go see the SOBs that I work with or deal with that I don't want to see.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even enjoy my Sundays. So it was like just out of that. And that's the kind of stuff that was, so what's the easiest way to enjoy a Sunday when you're dreading it or not liking it and fearing Monday is to drink it away.
I was the same way in school. I remember, oh God, my mom was like 8 a.m. What are you so upset? Got school tomorrow. Got school tomorrow. And I
watched the clock. I watched the clock.
Oh, by the way, too, if you every time I blow my nose, Carl is going to donate $100.
That's great.
To the Help Jesus Feed the Hungry, Physically Challenged, Abused, Orphan, One-Legged Children Foundation.
We need to put his phone up on the chat so people can call him personally and thank him.
Thank you, Carl Mark. Every time I blow my nose, he gets to.
And if you want to match $1 for every $100 he does, call him direct and give him your name.
Oh golly.
And just talk to him. He's lonely.
Carl's a good guy. He loves the children with special needs, hungry, physically challenged, abused, orphan, one-legged. He's a giver. Mm-hmm. He's a giver. So, I'm still laughing
Kinda
about
like
how I wish I could tell you guys.
Gave me a heart attack.
The ultimate prank I just pulled. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I'm glad you're happy. I'm here.
We're not a glum group, or what do they call it? A glum
lot.
A glum lot. It's like a Salem's Lot or something. So real quick, let's see who's all here. We have Joe Harris, Darren's here, Melinda, Kat, Pat Downing, Ted Watson, Bev. Hey, Bev. Penny Bishop. Hey, guys. And DA here. DA's here, Laura Michelle. So we'll get the regular suspect here. Mickey Griggs. I made it, guys. Thanks, Mickey, for being here. Joel and... all right, so tell us about, my sponsor had 18 months sober. This is from, how do you say her name? Kalea Penley Ayers. My sponsor has been had 18 months sober. Then something I talked with her about sent her off to get a beer, and she never came back. Felt so bad.
That's my sponsor. And again, this is an AA thing, but he told me, I don't think he's got 20 years something. He's long-termer, but he said something that kind of hit me home. He said, he feels good, but there is something out there that will make him drink today. He doesn't know what it is, when it's coming, but there is something. And what talking to your sponsor that sent her over the edge, it's about figuring out what those things are. And I got to keep prepping for it because I don't know what the phone's going to bring tomorrow. Or
so, Kalea, you're seeing something that you spoke with her about, sent her off the edge to get a beer?
Kind of like what you did to me before the show.
That's enough to make you drink it. Here's your excuse. I had to. Tom did this. I was so pissed that good thing we didn't record it because my career had been over forever too.
Well, at least I have someone to blame it on now for.
So Carl says $3,700 to the Jeff Foundation.
Thank you.
Ez is here. All right. So what other things this is what I miss when I'm here by myself. I gotta go right to a call. What can we talk about now? Here something that I battled with. I did a show Monday, and it was not a good show. I took it last night. I said I can't do it tonight. I just gotta do it.
It took you back to your comedy career. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was as if I was on stage.
Yeah, it's tough, and that's why I love this show because it's people that I can relate to, and it's a group that I can identify with, and together we're stronger. You talk about the I don't know. They say in the 12-step programs, your higher power, but a group of people like you and the people that are on there, as a group, we're a hell of a lot stronger than I am by myself.
Yeah.
And that's a higher power for me, so it works.
I catch myself being very pissy, and I think I'm looking for reasons for the exile to go. I gotta drink. Mm-hmm. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. But I mean, it's I had a show this weekend up in your neck of the woods, on the Kentucky side before the Bad Bridge thing.
Right.
and my governor tonight canceled it. And it's like I wanted the stage time. You know, it was a decent gig at a theater up there, and then I saw where a buddy of mine, Joel Grace, his daughter's supposed to get married Saturday. That's canceled. They just
Yeah.
shut down everything, and it's like, you know, part of me wants to understand, a part of me wants to get upset, but the main part of me just wants to drink.
Well, you know, I look at any time I get pissy or something gets me squirrely, I look at it as an opportunity to grow. I want to know what?
Earlier, did
You're
you want to
laughing.
drink?
Yeah, exactly. No, what is causing me to feel that way? Why am I getting upset?
Right.
Because if I can learn from it, then I can fix that so it doesn't happen again down the road. Because if I don't fix it, or at least address it, identify it, whatever, it's going to keep coming back and be stronger and stronger until it finally beats me. So,
Yeah.
if I'm upset, it's a great opportunity to learn, and hopefully, I mean, sometimes it's tough to do so, but to try and get myself in a better spot so it doesn't happen again. I can only be lucky for so long of
Yeah,
you know,
you're going to
staying
give
strong,
in more.
yeah.
Yeah, you could possibly. Yeah, that's the problem. And I really have to. I just, you know, I need structure. This is the only structure I have in my life right now. Is 8 o'clock, and I want to join a gym. I was walking, start getting cold. You know, any excuse I can find. But anywho, should we call our first guest?
Yeah, my stomach is still a knot from what you did. What you did to me is so wrong.
That I wish.
Yeah, this
it's
is
the equivalent of this. Let me. I said I went like, hey guys, welcome to Sober Talk. I'm Tom, and blah blah blah. And you want to quit drinking? You need to stop drinking. Perhaps you're sober curious, or perhaps you're like Jeff, who's cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
How is Karen? Or what? You know, it wasn't that.
It wasn't that, but
it was equally as bad. He was like, what? It was.
God. It was. Yeah.
It was equally.
It was wrong.
Oh, we should have taped it just to show your wife. Golly.
Well, anyways, this guy is from Cleveland, guy that I know, and he's got a good amount of sobriety, but he started early, and I haven't even heard a story. I'm kind of dying to hear it myself.
Yeah.
But
Bev says sometimes we have to take time to decompress. Laura Michelle says today is a new day.
Yep.
You've got this. Donnie Durbin, irritable, restless, and discontent. The RID.
Yep.
I thought it was the RID, restless, irritable, and discontent.
that's just your dyslexia.
I'm dyslexic. No, Donnie says irritable, restless, and discontent. Take a time out. Remember, I don't know if you the show the other night, Laura was talking about before they go into trauma or anything. They take like a 10, 15 second, just close your eyes and take a time out.
A lot of times when when the cravings hit, if people can address it, it'll pass. You hear that commonly, that it'll pass fairly quickly if you're staying on top of it.
Yeah. I'm just worried about the world. I mean, there's so much, you know,
Yeah.
the people, my friends who are on unemployment, that's going away. And all my friends are entertainers and all the things are, you know, and I just worry about everybody. So scrolling means an opportunity to grow, Kat says.
Yep, exactly.
You have to tell us what happened. I can't stand it. I can't tell anybody that ever again.
I'll need
You need therapy when you go to
I'm gonna wake up screaming in the middle of the night.
He looked at me like this. Tom, just say that. And it wasn't nothing about you. It was just a viewpoint that no one should ever say publicly or any. Oh.
I was about to say, hey, great, thanks.
And I was trying to keep a straight face.
You did.
I looked over, and Jeff was like, look. I needed that so bad. Saturday and Sunday, I fell off the wagon. We had a 23rd birthday party for my daughter. I finally feel better today.
Did you learn from it? And if you did, then you're in a better spot, and you're going to be stronger today and tomorrow going forward. So as long as you learn from it, and add it to your book of knowledge, more power to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Partlow, this is tough for all of us this time, and we must remain vigilant and not allow ourselves to use these tough times as an excuse. That is true. That is totally, totally true. So what else is going on in your world? Are you going to the meetings? Are the meetings still happening?
Yeah,
are you doing Zoom?
I'm doing Zoom. There are a couple that I've gone to or do go to when I can. Some of the places, but we're masking up. Whatever people want to do to be safe. But obviously the crowds are smaller.
This is a split screen right here. We're not in the same room. This is all CGI.
I'm just breathing out that side of my mouth and shoved cotton, which is it? This up this nose. So.
So you've been sober 9 months. It would have been a year a couple weeks ago, but you flew off the handle on Super Bowl weekend. Do you regret that, or is that you think the best thing about
I regret what happened. I regret what I did to people, even though it was mild as far as the newspaper goes. And it's hard to tell the people that I hurt on that weekend, but it was the best thing. I'm so much more ready. I think I wasn't where I needed to be to take this serious. It was a good wake up call. It was a kick into the, you know what, is that I needed to realize that this isn't the easiest journey in the world, and it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of focus. And I needed it. I hate to say I'm glad it happened, because I'm not glad of what happened with it, but I'm thrilled for what I got out of it and the growth that I got because of it. And that's what I'm saying. If you can learn from it, I don't care about yesterday. I mean, yesterday's gone. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday, what you did, what you didn't do.
Right. Nick Collier says, Tom, I'm trying 1 week without a drink. That should be, if you could go a week, it's pretty much out of your system, I would think, right?
That's what they say about 7 days, and it's. But my thought, Nick, is that after 7 days, you're going to say, I don't want to give up those 7 days. And I don't want to start over.
Depends where he is. Now, chances are, if he's watching the show, he thinks he has a problem with drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's wired that way. It is, you got the disease, the allergy, whatever you want to call it. But if you're just giving yourself a break, if he's in his 20s, he's like, I quit a week. Remember one time I quit a week? I had a lot of those. Remember, I went 3 days. Remember the time?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I proved I can do this.
Hello from San Francisco, Xavier Hernandez. Dustin Stovall's back with us.
Xavier, I'm from Sacramento originally.
Is that not far? That's right.
About an hour and a half.
Old side. When I was working for Dick Clark Productions, working on a show called Bloopers, we shot a lot in Sacramento and Old Side.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love Sacramento.
It's a pretty area.
So let's go back to here. And, well, it's good to have you here, and I wish you could come down more. And we're going to set up, because I'm going to get burnt out, we are going to set up in Jeff's house, a Sober Talk studio, so he can do it a couple nights a week. So that's going to take a little bit of work. It won't be exactly like this, but it will be
better.
It will be better. Yes, better. We're going to spend a lot more money here. But no, the people love you. I see the people here in our little community. They love you, and
thanks, Mom.
They're your mom, Tina Labate. You my friend. Let's see. What did Tina just say? She said, "You, my friends, are on your way." Carl, in the first 30 to 40 meetings, they realized that I was a fun target, and their words did help me. And looking back, the old man said, "Carl, you and your brain are like a dang squirrel in the road right now. Left, right, up, down. It's going to take a year, my friend, to regain."
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. And so let's go with our. We are calling Nate. See, this is why you gotta have this set up here.
Just give me your checkbook before I leave, and I'll pick it up.
I'm gonna have one sent to your house.
This is Nate.
Hey, Nate, it's Tom Mabe and special guest, your friend Jeff Graham from Sober Talk. How are you?
Of course, doing pretty well. How are you?
Hey, Nate.
Jeff, good evening.
So I'm gonna let Jeff talks highly of you. So I'm gonna let Jeff kind of run with this, because he has questions that he wants to ask you. I'm anxious to hear your story.
I just looked up. It was a Dial a Sober Friend app, and Nate popped up, and I swiped left, and he popped up again. I figured it was destiny. But no, I know Nate through work. I don't really know him personally, but and I don't know his story. I'm dying to hear this as well. But the one thing about Nate, when I had this was just after my February date, I had to go up to Cleveland for some work, and I knew Nate was in the program and had good sobriety. And the one thing I did differently this time, because I knew I was going to be in a hotel by myself across the street from a speedway that's got, I don't know, these flashing signs that say Bud on them, pretty red and blue ones right across. And I knew if I have to try and decide, am I going to drink tonight or not, at that point, I'm done. So I literally, when I knew I was coming up for Cleveland, I called Nate and I said, "Nate, I'll be up. What are we doing Monday night? And what are we doing Tuesday night?"
Oh, that's great.
Said, it's in your hands. And so we went to dinner one night, went to a meeting another one, and just kind of hung out. And the one thing I learned from that is I can't wait until that moment to try and be strong. I got to plan ahead and schedule ahead for me.
No, I get that. I get that. I can, because I'm very vulnerable with my travels. I can see that's usually a trigger, because usually at the airport drinking.
Yeah, there's only 38 bars in between terminals.
Right.
Yes. And who cares if it's $18 a beer? That's part of it.
You said what time did the bar open in the airport?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Yeah.
Yep. God. I told the guy I was afraid of flying when in actuality I was a.
You're the pilot.
Yeah,
you have to find the plane. So Nate, tell us your story, brother. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Again, I appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, my sobriety is absolutely the utmost importance in my life, and I love the life I have today because of it. Growing up, my dad was an alcoholic and my mom was an alcoholic. Now, my dad got sober before I was 10 years old, and he's still sober to this day. But my mother, actually, she got really bad in my teenage years and started doing, what am I trying to say here? Rehab stays at places, the Cleveland Clinic and stuff like that. And, that's when I started drinking, was, my freshman year of high school. And I mean, from my first drunk, first of all, I was a liar. Like, I got those character defects, and I'm a liar by nature. And, when my drinking started in high school and got progressive, the family didn't really notice me. I had two great parents in all respects and a great family. I got two brothers and a sister, but as everybody was focused on my mom, I was over here kind of doing my own thing. And, I slowly started creeping. Water seeks its own level, right? I started creeping with the crowd that liked to party, and I slowly started to push away all scholastics and athletics and any after school activities. And, freshman and sophomore year, it was, just as much as I could get on the weekends and whatever, marijuana, weed I could get. But, come junior and senior year, it was like an everyday activity. I was trying to do it before school all the time. I mean, my grades, as well as I kept them up those first 2 years, just fell off like a ski jump. And, I was drinking all the time, drinking on weekdays. I was still a junior, senior in high school. And I was trying to hang out with kids that were a little older than me that had graduated the year before. And I'll never forget, if you want to culminate my junior and senior year, I was drinking till about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I know it sounds crazy, but because everybody was focused on my mom, I was able to kind of do whatever I wanted to do. And I had to pass an English final in order to graduate my senior year. And I'm out drinking till about 4 o'clock in the morning the night before. And don't ask me how I passed that final. I swear that my teacher felt sorry for me and just gave me a passing grade. But I did end up graduating.
Yeah. That's
people feel sorry for us. We're, in some ways we can be good people, but we just got this, allergy to alcohol and we do stupid stuff. So yeah, and I got sober when I was 19. So it wasn't long after that I got, in some big trouble. I got arrested for a DUI, and I drove drunk all the time. I did not care about worrying about consequences or anything like that. It was all selfish. Like I had to do what I needed to do in order to get what I needed to get. And whatever alcohol or drugs that was, or whatever I had to do, it was all worth it. So I get arrested with drugs in the car, right? I had some ecstasy and some weed. I blew a really high number for the police officer. I had an open container. I got the book thrown at me, right? And, I went to court, and guys, I swear I went to court, and my parents, my dad, he was sober, quite a few years now. And my mom had done some racket through the court too, a little bit. And they were like, no, you made this bed, you go take care of it. So I had no direction going to court. I went to court in cargo shorts and a t-shirt. This judge looked at me like I had just killed her dog in a way, like she was so insulted. And so,
and how old were you, Nate, at this point? How old were you?
I was 19 years old.
Okay.
So the judge gives me a 3-year license suspension, 3 years probation. I got to take urine tests with my probation officer all the time. I got put on a month and a half of house arrest. I got about $3,000 in fines through the court. But the worst part of all was I had to go to 2 AA meetings a week. Like I could fulfill all those other duties, it seemed like, but I had no interest still in stopping drinking, being sober, or anything like that. I mean, I was 19 years old. It just was not on my radar. I couldn't imagine my life without it.
That's the thing. When I was a kid, I remember some girls said, "You got to stop drinking." I said, "I'm not driving." She said, "No, you got to stop drinking forever."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, that's crazy. That's crazy."
Yeah, I heard the same thing, and I think I deep down maybe knew it, but it was like are you kidding me? This is
No, yeah.
When I'm
I was
older,
like
we'll
25
talk
when they
about
told
it,
me, "Yeah, 25 years old, Ginger McGuire said, you got to stop drinking." That's a party. No. I mean, forever. You can't. Oh, golly.
Nate, you were playing sports though in high school, weren't you? I mean,
well, you know what? I mean, I got kicked off the track team my junior year, which was the only sport I was playing by then. So, football freshman and sophomore year, basketball freshman and sophomore year, track, freshman and sophomore year. But by the end, I had kind of given it up. I wasn't as good as everybody else. I wasn't willing to put in the time to be as good as everybody else. And I was more focused on drinking and drugging.
Yeah.
It just naturally became like the priority in my life.
So how did those first AA meetings go?
Well, so I don't know if you ever heard of the term Eskimo, but I had a guy that I used to drink with. He was a year older than me, but he got in trouble as well. And he got in some serious trouble, right? I don't want to tell his story, but I mean, it involved another girl, domestic, whatever. And,
tell us what the Eskimo is. I don't know if you ever heard about a marsupial, but this one guy, he drank. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
the Eskimo brought me out of the cold is what I mean. And he was getting sober for real, going to meetings and stuff, had a sponsor. And he said, "Nate, you need to go to this meeting on Tuesday night," which is the meeting that Jeff went to that he mentioned when he was up in Cleveland with me.
Hey, we had a question about Cleveland.
You were late too by 15 minutes?
I was right on time, but I was late according to Jeff because I said I'd be there at 7:45.
So Carl had a question for you, Nate. He says, Cleveland Clinic, is that Dr. Bob or Bill W.?
No, there might be one of them there, but no,
I guess the founders of AA, Bill.
Yeah, that's the Akron area. You want St. Thomas?
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
So catch me up here. So you at 19 in house arrest, 2 AA meetings a week that you hated.
Yeah.
Was that your rock bottom? Have you been sober since then?
No, unfortunately, that's not. Of course, I'd like to say it kind of was, but I continued to drink. I mean, I was insane in some ways at this point. I was going to work, getting off work, and getting messed up, and I was eventually not going to those meetings because I just couldn't do it. Like by the time I got off of work, all I wanted to do was drink, and I'd have the best of intentions to take care of anything. I don't care what it be. Maybe my brother needed help moving a couch. I needed to go to an AA meeting that night, whatever it was. I'd have the best of intentions on doing something, but that craving, that thought would overtake everything, and I would be drinking.
What about the urine test?
So I would go to my probation officer, and hopefully, people that are listening to this are serious about getting sober. But I would drink about it.
There's a lot of pens. A lot of people are grabbing paper and pads, going, "Okay,
Trevor, look, he's going to tell you how to get out of your analysis test."
Great, Nate. Hey, thanks so much for coming on and destroying the lives of.
Carl's going to donate more money now. Okay, go ahead, Nate. So you would go to your probation officer.
I would drink a gallon of water and take about 5 vitamin B pills, and my piss would be so diluted, but it would be yellow because of the vitamin B pills, and I would pass.
Wow. Huh.
I know. I don't know if that trick works nowadays. I mean, that was back in 2000, but
I mean,
that worked for me.
Check the papers tomorrow. We'll find out.
Yeah.
You'll know by noon.
Yeah.
When 38 state
I think
employees
they still make a gallon of water. I think you can still put your hands on a gallon of water and vitamin B.
stock in crystal water's going up tonight.
Dustin Stovall says the devil always steals the best of intentions.
Yep, absolutely.
And,
So,
go ahead.
Well, okay, so from there, I'm still drinking. That was July of 2000. So come February of 2001, I'm still doing my same old shenanigans. I go to Bowling Green State, right, and I'm visiting a friend up there, and he gets me into a bar. I had never drank in a bar before, and I had $100 in my pocket. I thought I was Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
I was just ready to just spend it all and buy everybody everything. And I leave that bar at 2:00 in the morning when they kick us out, and I'm sitting there waiting for a cab. I don't even remember at this point, but I was waiting for a friend to get out of the bar because then we were going to probably walk back to his house. And I just start throwing rocks. I don't know why. I start throwing rocks at a street lamp, and campus police from Bowling Green State come rolling up, and they arrest me. And I went to Wood County Jail. Like I didn't go to like some holding cell in Westlake when I got my DUI. I went to I looked out of my little jail cell and I saw guys down there that I don't wish I ever see in my life ever again. They just look like the meanest individuals and I just didn't feel like I belonged. So, that was kind of closer to my rock bottom. I had to call my dad to come get me. I had just gotten busted again, and of course he's sober. So the whole ride home, he's giving me the business about, straightening out my life and where I'm going. And I need to take these AA meetings more seriously. And I tell you what, for that moment, like I did have a thought, like I have to do something here. Like I'm working this job at a cabinet shop. I've got no idea for my future. I'm not going to college. I don't know. And I started to really have that seed that was planted from AA going, yeah, my life is kind of messed up. And I went back to that Tuesday meeting and I told, a guy that I had been talking to, my everything that had been going on and that I'd been lying to him and stuff. And he was really cool with it. He's like, all right, well, keep coming back and, give me a call. You're a good person. I still want to see you do well. And so I stayed sober for about a month, but I was still hanging out at that point with the same people that I had gone and visited out at Bowling Green, and I was white knuckling my sobriety. Right.
Right.
And then, the time came. I actually, my cousins came over on Easter, and they wanted to know where they could get some stuff. And I knew exactly where they could get some stuff because I was just hanging out with those people the night before, white knuckling my sobriety, drinking water out of a Solo cup, acting like I was drinking because I didn't want anybody to know that I wasn't drinking.
Right.
That's just a terrible mindset. You could see that I'm just like full of fear in my whole life, I felt like drinking identified the person that I was. Like everybody knew me as like crazy Nate that gets drunk all the time. And I feel like that's what people expected out of me. And I expected it out of myself. So anyways, my cousins came over on Easter. I told them I was thinking about getting sober. But as soon as you put me in that situation, the most normal thing for me to do is to pick up. It's not normal for me to sit there and watch you drink and everything. And it was only a matter of time. I'd been sober a month, still hanging out with the same old friends. And that was April 15th, 2001. April 16th, 2001 is my sobriety date. And I still didn't tell anybody the next day that I had drank or anything. It took a serious moment of clarity where I broke down crying after hanging out with some of those meeting friends. And I admitted again that I'd been lying, that I drank, and I wanted to take this thing serious. And I can't even tell you if at that moment I was 100% like, I want to stay sober the rest of my life. I know that life is the best life for me, and this is going to be great.
Yeah, for me it was, I just want to fix this problem.
Exactly.
I want to, yeah, right.
But next summer we're going down to Lake Cumberland and on a houseboat, and I want to be fixed by then so I can get back to it.
Can I share a story about Nate? And we got you the whole hour, so we have time. Nate, this is, by the way, this is so awesome. This is so great. I'm glad you're here. Lake Cumberland.
Mm-hmm.
I do Laugh-A-Palooza there. They give me a houseboat. I take my boat down there, tie it off to their houseboat. It's like a boat tail. And the last time I went down there, I traded a show for the week of the week of the houseboat's like $3-4 grand for the and I was so drunk I couldn't get on stage. And my kids and my wife and the one I did prior, I rocked it out. People were getting and I apologized the next day and the lady who was drunk, she said, "Tom, you're at the lake. We were all drunk." That made me feel better. But again, I don't want to just quit drinking. I want to be happy. Nate, how did you, a lot of our viewers are, I don't know if they're atheists or not, but this is not an AA meeting. But Jeff and I are in AA. Yeah. We're in AA, and there are a lot of people in our community is AA, and a lot of people who are toying with it. They have a problem with the higher power. Can you take us down that path a little bit? For you?
Absolutely. I'd be willing to. I wasn't sure, how much you wanted to necessarily talk about that factor, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm the best person to talk to in the sense of somebody that doesn't believe right now. I went to parochial schools my whole life, from first grade on up through high school. And I would argue with friends that there was some kind of higher power, when we'd be drinking and they'd be telling me, no, there isn't. And so I always had that kind of muster seed of faith. So when somebody presented to me to, ask and thank a higher power for a day of sobriety, it wasn't anything for me to do. But I really believe that the willingness to believe is absolutely the key. And if you have the willingness to want to believe or to try to believe in something else out there that can help you stay sober, you're doing all right in my book. The key is that seeking.
Nate, I find a lot of people when they hear the G word, when they hear God, run at times.
Well, it's racist almost. A lot of people think if you say God, no, I don't mean it like that, but it's like, oh, you can't, prayer in school and this and that.
But it's a run because when I went to an all-boys Catholic school myself. I raised that way, but it sends people running the other way. So how do you, Nate, when you are talking to someone, because I know I deal with that. I run into them all the time that, man, I just can't get past the word God. What do you, you got some good sobriety, and what do you tell these people?
Well, gosh, guys, again, I know this isn't an AA meeting, but, so often when I do see somebody in that nature, it's in that AA setting, right? Mm-hmm. And I just encourage people to continue with the steps and to do them to the best of their ability, in whatever fashion that they need to. And I hope that as they continue to come around, they'll break down whatever walls they have in front of them. I think that, it'll chip away over time, and you'll come to something. It doesn't have to be, my conception or your conception or anybody else's conception. It's your own conception. And I encourage people to just go through all 12 steps and continue to stay, with sober people in sober places, trying to do the next right thing. And,
do you think that, it says you'll find a power bigger than yourself? I've tried it self-will for so many times. Now God's will is my way, and the universe, or God, or however I, interpret him or see him or her. But do you buy that in the AA about, finding a power greater than yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I was going to say, Nate, that for me, I had hit my bottom, and everyone's bottom is different, but I was out of options. And again, I did come from a religious background, so I didn't have that big of a hurdle, but I was the point, I I'll talk to your pet hamster if it'll work. You know, I'm out of options.
My higher powers is Jeff's pet hamster.
Hey, if that thing will help, because I was out of options. I didn't doing it Jeff's way. Didn't work.
Self-will.
And I was to the point, I don't care what I do. I'm going to lose my family. I'm going to lose my wife. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose if I don't do something. So I don't care what it is. I'm open because anything I've been doing is, anything is better than where I was yesterday.
Yeah, and guys, so often I have found in my 19 years of sobriety is that my higher power so often speaks through other people. And I know it sounds cliche, but as long as I'm on here, I can't help but say it that, a lot of people say God equals a group of drunks.
Yeah.
And being able to talk to somebody else and work through a problem, I mean, in some ways, that's a higher energy than you normally can have within yourself.
100%.
So finding other like-minded people, sober people in sober places that want to see you do the next right thing and make the next right move and work on yourself and have that psychic change that is necessary to overcome alcoholism.
Yeah.
It's really all about other people.
Well, I don't get it when I don't get it. I don't receive what I need when I'm talking to non-alcoholics about my drinking problem. Where I get my fuel and I get stronger is when I'm talking to people that understand what I'm going through, the emotions I'm going through, the feelings I'm going through, the fears, the frustrations, all of that. It comes from talking to other alcoholics.
Let me go to the comments here. Someone's commenting on something you said, Nate. Donnie Durbin says, God means gift of desperation. You ever heard the term, there's no atheist in a foxhole?
Mm-hmm.
You're just
yes.
There's no atheist in a foxhole. And Donnie Durbin says, God means gift of desperation. Like you just said, you have nowhere else to turn.
Anything.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad we have those, somebody commenting like that. That's absolutely correct. I love that. I've never heard that before, honestly.
Like I said, anything, because what I had yesterday didn't work. So, hey, I know what I wanted to ask you because I run into this, Nate. Tom and I were talking about everyone
who's better looking, me or Jeff.
While we're on the air. Right now, politics, COVID, the holidays, people are on edge. And I hear people talking all the time, this is a tough time.
Man.
A pandemic to get sober is a tough time. The holidays, all that stuff. How do you deal with that kind of stuff? Or if you're even feeling it, what do you suggest to others? For people that are new in sobriety, people that are wanting to get sober, people that are long-term that are struggling.
Well, guys, I hate to keep beating a dead horse here, but it's so important to have those other people that you trust in your life that you can go to. I mean, so often, we talk about a sponsor or just any friends that you've made around that are those sober people that you like to hang out with in sober places. That to me is just so important. Being able to pick up that phone and call that one person or two people that you can talk to about anything and just cut that problem in half. But secondly, Jeff, you absolutely hit the nail on the head. You have to prepare for these upcoming events. Now, obviously, it's tough to prepare for COVID, right?
Right.
But you can still put together a game plan every day. And if you just focus on those 24 hours, you can do anything. You can do anything within that 24-hour period. But you gotta plan it out properly, and you gotta have a couple people you can lean on.
Right.
Nate, you just got a huge compliment. Where's it at? Where'd it go? Ez Zuniga says, anyone else think Nate should co-host with Tom? no offense, Jeff.
Is that mom?
That's your mom. Man.
That's your mom.
Oh, golly. She doesn't want you leaving town during the week. Oh, that's
That's great. Thank you for making my
Jeff, thanks for having me on.
no,
Yeah,
not
I'll be
you.
on.
We're still you're not going nowhere. We want you here.
Which button do I hit to cut him off right now?
So your
Yeah.
rock bottom was not getting the DUI. Your rock bottom was in Bowling Green State, throwing a rock at a street lamp, and you went to the bad jail.
I went
That's
to the
my
bad
kinda
jail, exactly. I mean, guys, I'm sitting in that jail cell, this nice suburban kid that drank too much, that just got his license taken away for 3 years. Basically, my parents are looking at me like, what the heck's going on? You've got a drinking problem. I got a judge telling me I've got a drinking problem. I got a probation officer telling me I got a drinking problem. I even had to go to a counselor through the courts that was telling me I had a drinking problem. And I'm staring out this window at Wood County Jail, just thinking about my freedom being stripped from me. I can't leave there. And it's all because I wanted to drink. And when I drank, I didn't know what the heck was going to happen. And that's what happened. So, there was kind of that soul-crushing, rock-bottom moment of sitting in there of, is this the way I want the rest of my life to be? Is this what is going to be the rest of my 20s or even worse? I mean, I'd gone to enough meetings and heard enough stories by now to hear my lead, and then people continue it. And the broken relationships and broken marriages and just all the horrible stories that you can hear over the course of 20 years. And so I kind of had an epiphany at that moment.
You know what? When you're saying that, Nate, what really bums me out is when I was having those moments where it's like, you know what, drinking is it's kicking my butt. I'm losing this, I'm losing that. And I'm so bummed out that the only thing I want to do right now is drink. And that was, what's the, how do I take away the pain that I'm feeling from all this, what this drinking has done to me? Well, that's, I'll drink some more. And that's just what's crazy.
Hey, let me catch up here real quick. This guy on our board here, Christopher Allen Hammond, says, yes, 9th grade, 12th grade in high school, I would wake up and take shots of vodka as I was working out. He said, take water bottles full of vodka. Then he came down and says, 4th DUI, total 3 cars and 2 trucks. 7 felonies, arrested 39 times, had some serious legal issues, but I only slowed down after my 5th near-death experience and 3 kids later. I'm a totally different person. Life was my teacher. I never had a helping hand. I appreciate what you all are doing. So I was anxious.
Wow.
This guy had nature was and is my church. When I first got saved and baptized, I literally walked right out of the water and walked around the church 3 times, mad and confused. And at that time, I didn't know why. Later, after I nearly died, I found something inside. Third eye. It's all about that. And they say, you guys have a great night. Tom, you're better looking than Jeff.
Gosh, I can't read it from here. I want to make sure. I want to transcript.
I'm a professional. I'm a good reader.
I want
you have no reason to doubt my reading capabilities. Oh, God.
Listen, I love those kind of stories. People just finding it like that. That's incredible.
It's sad that some people, though, have to hit that kind of a bottom before that light comes on or they realize.
I really want to be one and done, man. I want this to be my last. I'm still tiptoeing around the steps, Nate, and I'm.
Well, it's interesting because Nate is now going to give you the secret to all of this in one simple.
All right.
Here it is.
Okay, bring it on now.
And
this is awesome. Are we recording?
Yeah.
I really want to come with some great inspirational speech right now, but
no, that's okay. But what would you advise? Again, a lot of people are doing different things, different types of treatment. I've tried everything, and I always say in every show how if you got a drinking problem, if it causes problems, being sober is one thing, but being sober and happy, that's another thing. And I'm trying to find. I wake up pissed off. I wake up mad. No one, don't talk to me. Let me just have my coffee. Just everybody, just leave me alone for the first 20 minutes. And I'm just up. I'm not saying I'm a dry drunk. I'm better than what I was. But man, this right now, I'm being tested. I'm really, really being tested with everything that's going on in the world right now. And I went off on Facebook last night. My wife came. She said, "You got to delete that post right now."
Ooh.
I just went off about politics and crap, and I can't do that.
I read it before it disappeared, and yes, it hurt my feelings. But, Nate, I don't know if you know this about me. I went 9.5 years abstinent, and I use that versus sober.
I was there for that.
Yeah, and I
Wow.
looking back, I wasn't drinking, but I wasn't sleeping. I was like I said earlier in the show. I don't know if you were listening, but I hated Sundays because all I knew was tomorrow was Monday, and that's gonna just be a crappy day. I was worried. I had more anxiety, more stress. It wasn't until I started not just quit drinking the beer. I mean, that was not even. That's what I did because of my issues. I thought that was my issue. I started this program because I needed to stop drinking beer, and I thought if I give up beer, life is going to be great, and I'm going to be happy. And I learned that was
Rich.
And rich, yeah. But that's what that was. It wasn't until I figured out it was fixing the reasons, and I'm still working on it. I'd love to say that I've fixed it. I'm a lot better as far as how I deal with stuff and how I let it go. And if I can work on those problems, it makes the choice of do I drink or not a hell of a lot easier to win, with those things versus before. So there's a difference. There's not drinking and there's being sober. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Nate? How do you put that in words?
Well, I think, number one is you can do anything sober, and you can do anything that you did drunk, you can do it sober. I've hung out at the parties with people, that invited me out places, and sometimes people think I'm drinking because I'm acting so crazy, and I'm acting more crazy than some of the other people, and I'm not doing anything that's terrible or illegal or anything, but I'm just having fun. You can have just as much fun, and there's never a reason to take a drink. There's not any reason to take a drink, but you can have an excuse. There's always an excuse if you need one. And I think if you don't take the drink and you try every day, and some days you're going to fail, just like Tom's talking about, he's being tested right now, right? But if you just try every day to be a better version of yourself, whatever it might be, maybe you practice some brutal honesty that day. Maybe you admit when you're wrong, like right off the bat, or just something along those lines. Just try to be that better version of yourself every day. You're going to be all right.
When I take inventory at night, which I don't do it often, where you go and you kind of look at your day and what I guess there's something to that when you, what do they call that when you go over your day and look at the
and a nightly personal inventory.
Yeah, a nightly personal inventory. I mean, I know you guys are looking at me saying, Tom can't get much better. No, but I could. I mean, my day
Look at the board light up.
Full of crap. No, that's. I need to do that. I said some things today that people took wrong. My kid, and they're like, no, I didn't mean it that way. Or I need. Probably need to make amends with those people. I
hate to admit this because he's listening, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get Nate on here because I didn't know him prior to his sobriety, but he's one of the most upbeat, positive guys in through a lot of tough times. And I thought, I don't know what he's doing, but that's what I want because sobriety is boring, dull. You just who gives it? I mean, you don't laugh anymore. You're not funny. It's you can't. You can't go to a football game.
You can't go boating. It's illegal. It's illegal to go boating without beer.
Oh, yeah.
How the hell are you supposed to have fun without alcohol? That's what I thought. And you see guys like Nate, and it's like, this guy is on top of the world, and he's sober. And he wasn't before, and he's figured it out. And I don't know what he's doing, but that's why I love listening to Nate and trying to figure out what it is. Because
you have a lot of routine and structure, Nate. A lot of routine and structure in your day to day.
I mean, not as much as a lot of people think. You know, I got a lot of friends that think that I'm just on top of the ball all the time, you know, taking care of things, you know, calling people when I got problems, or, you know, waking up and praying in the morning and praying at night and doing inventories and all that stuff. And, you know, I've got a little bit of structure, but it's not too great. You know, I wish I had more.
People now?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Have to. You have to. You know, that's one way to stay, you know, piped in with people, you know, and you know, it gives you that dose of gratitude and usefulness and helping somebody else.
So Carl Martin says, Tom, me and others, please hear my words. Now, this is just my experience, but I have the same. I've heard, but I have the same from others. How to be happy and sober. It takes time, and it takes stepping out of your normal routines. Really, get out and do something that is different, challenging, and help someone else. The boring will go away in time. Ask Nate. So he's like, Carl Walt, he'll go hiking and such. Donnie Durbin says, alcohol used to be my best friend and became my worst enemy. So,
yep.
Do you get out? Do you try to do stuff, Jeff? Do you try to get out? And
you know
do
what?
different things?
Yes and no. I would love to say I'm more disciplined on a lot of those things, but just coming down here, I look forward to this.
Yeah.
I mean, I love watching your show and listening to this. But coming down here, it gives you a purpose. I think my biggest fear for me is stagnation.
Yes.
Downtime, boredom. That's when I'm in trouble, because then I'm listening to my head. I'm not fueling myself when I'm at those times. That's why I love being here and hearing stories and getting motivated and picking up, even from, you know, people that are chatting in. Someone has an idea. It's like, hey, that's a good point. Hey, that'll work. That's a good thing to remember, or a good thing to think about. So that's the beauty of this. It's not someone just telling you what to do. It's a group effort, and everyone's throwing in their 10 cents worth, and you pick and choose what applies to to each person.
Well, I like what Carl says. He says, you know, it takes time, and, you know, it takes stepping out of your normal routine.
Mm-hmm.
I need to do that. That's why, like, if I want, well, now I can't join a gym because everything in the world, but I need to get something different. And and now it's turning cold, and that's oh geez, cold is a really
we could live in Cleveland. I mean, there could be worse things.
Does it get cold up there? I don't know.
Man, you know what? I live on the west side of Cleveland, but the east side is part of a snow belt that gets lake effect snow off the lake, and they get hammered. I mean, routinely east side schools would be closed growing up, and the west side schools would be open. But yeah, no matter what, it still gets cold up here.
You call your friends on the east side, you got school tomorrow. Like, you can't read.
I talked to Nate. I talked to Nate a couple Mondays ago, and you could barely understand his voice because this guy being at the Browns game when they won, I think the guy gets a little vocal. I'm sure a lot of people said, God, get that drunk out of here, and they don't even realize he's drinking.
They don't even realize.
Kathy Collins, I'm coming near you. Kathy Collins says, not cold here in the California desert.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, man. You know, my dream place to retire, if it ever, you know, happens, my wife, her parents live in San Diego, and I just love going out to visit them. It's beautiful there.
Yeah. I'm up north. I'm from Sacramento, which is, like I said, about 7 hours north of that. So, but yeah, down south, boy, that would be nice.
My daughter and sister are down at the beach right now, and it's not like it is. It's not like California, but it's like 65 right now, so it's not too bad. But
still good, yeah.
Yeah, I want to get back to the So what else, there, Jeff? What else? What's going on?
Well, guys, can I type in here real quick?
I'm out of here, so this is Nate's show anyway. So I'll just. I've already been voted off the island.
Had you conceded? Yeah, I didn't know if you conceded.
Nate, you didn't bring me a rose tonight, so I know where I'm going. I'm going home. Empty-handed.
Guys, one of the things that I would love to say, you know, off the topic of, you know, AA and everything, I firmly believe, and I've seen it over the course of my time in sobriety and trying to help new people out, you have got to find some kind of passion, activity, hobby that you can almost, you know, also substitute, you know, for alcohol. And I tell you what, since I've been sober, there's a couple of things I found out I love. I love riding motorcycles. I love visiting big cities. I mean, Seattle, Miami, San Diego, like I mentioned. I'm down to Nashville and over to New York. I mean, alcohol and alcoholism, I mean, even though I was only 19 years old, it felt like a ball and chain to me. Like it just tethered me to like that one spot. And man, I've just found that I love to go out and just experience those big cities and kind of say I've been there. And also too, I mean, I found out, you know, I love to lift weights and I love playing sports. I run a flag football team and a basketball team, which hasn't really happened because of COVID, but you know, I'll grab a couple of guys, some of these sober new guys and stuff that are athletes. You know, you talk about hanging out with sober people in sober places, and you know, I'll put the money up front to run the team and everything, but man, we have a blast, you know, and it kind of gives them another activity rather than, you know, going to work, coming home, you know, if you're in AA, going to an AA meeting or something, you know, and just that kind of like same routine that almost Jeff talked about, where you're sitting by yourself, trapped inside your own head, wondering, you know, what the heck am I doing this for? I'm not having fun. Like, you got to find those passions, those activities that you just love to finally be able to do now.
Yeah, everybody needs structure and purpose, and that's.
You know, my thing, Nate, I found that when I was drinking, I was so, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I was the most. I'm gonna. And then the next morning I'd wake up and feeling like crap and feeling guilty about, and just go, oh, man. Well, I got
through the day.
I got a solution on how to make myself feel better. And it sure ain't going to be running 10 miles like I was talking about yesterday. It's going to be running up to the drive-through. It's just sad. It's just sad, you know, that momentum of just self-perpetuating destruction.
Michael Scott Fisher says something. I love this line. He says, "I have too many demons to be playing with spirits." Talking about the alcohol spirits.
Yeah.
They come out. They come out. Jeez,
I like it.
Yeah, and
I like it.
If I'm depressed and I drink, I get more depressed. If I'm happy, I drink, I get more goofy and happy. But wow, when my brain juices are messed up like they were Tuesday, if I would have drank Tuesday, I would have been.
Well, that's like we had talked, and I'm beating a dead horse on this thing, but play the tape out because what sounds like a great idea, but what happened? What's next? What happens after that? What happens after you leave the bar? What happens when you get home? And what happens when you wake up and you wonder, why is she looking at me that way? And what did I say or what did I do? And where's the car?
Yep. No doubt.
Hey, can you say, Nate, backpack and any of those words that you say in Cleveland that are so funny sounding?
I don't think, you know, we do anything different besides say pop instead of soda.
There you go. That's, yeah.
and Oregon. We say Oregon, you know, instead of Oregon.
Oregon, yeah. So, hey, we got to call one more man, we'd love to have you back on. Obviously, you're going down into one of our top 60.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. I mean, listen, this is one of the things that I love to talk about. You know, it's a wonderful thing in my life.
Such a joy. There's one guy struggling that I want to try to reach out to really fast, and I didn't realize that the time has really David needs us to call him too, but there's another guy scheduled to call. All right, brother. Well, Nate, thanks for coming on, and love to have you on again.
Hey, absolutely, Tom. Great to meet you, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, Nate. I greatly appreciate it, and
that's great.
Tom's check will be in the mail, but don't cash it because I made that mistake.
You can hold on to that to like 2028. That'd be great. See you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Nate.
See you, buddy. Thanks.
Bye.
What a cool dude. Let me just call and check on this guy real quick. He emailed me much earlier, and then David Vernance, he wants to tell the group something. So we're just going to go a couple minutes late here.
Hello.
Hey, buddy, it's Tom Mabe with Sober Talk. How are you?
Hey, good. Well,
So you got to talk into the phone. Are you on a speaker or something?
no, I probably just didn't have it close enough.
Get as close to your mouth as you can.
All right.
Huh.
I can hear him.
You can hear
Yeah,
him?
let's roll.
Yeah. So hey, tell us your story. How are you? Are you struggling? Are you in a good place, or what's going on?
I'm in an excellent place. I quit drinking back in 2009 and haven't touched a drop since.
Oh, congrats. Well, I got an email
my
from you.
problem was,
Go ahead. What was your problem?
my problem was I couldn't social drink. I went out. I didn't drink at home, but I would go out and drink with people till the bars closed. Then I went home.
Did you keep drinking when you got home?
Oh no, I never kept no alcohol at home. Just out on the town.
That was there was
Well, I mean, I didn't stop.
Yeah.
If I didn't have, I would stop on the way home to get
Yeah.
something else. Were you?
Oh, I drank so that I could be okay to go out and drink socially. I had
Oh yeah, I was 6 beers in before the garage door shut.
yeah, so I could just so I could go out and yeah.
Well, look, I want to call you when we have more time. So I just want to call you. I didn't forget about you, and hopefully, we can call you back and we have a little bit better connection because this call deserves to be. I want to hear your story. But 2009, huh?
Yep, 2009. 11:47 p.m. December 19th.
Real quick, what made you decide to stop?
I got picked up and had a deferred sentence on a DUI, and I put my family and my job first, and alcohol I just couldn't deal with no more.
Well, congrats, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for picking up.
Yep, thank you very much. You have a good night.
You too. Supposedly, there's an app that you can buy that will take these calls and kind of compress them out, and I should be able to do this on the board as well. But I hate, it's not fair to the guest when let's see here. Let's call David real fast, and we'll call it a night, folks. I'm gonna have my finger on the mute button because you never know what this guy's gonna say.
Do I know David?
Yeah, Dave's been he's a regular on the show.
Hello.
All right, buddy. Well, you got me concerned. What happened?
I fucked up.
We're live. What'd you do?
Start drinking again.
Yesterday, today, or what?
My father-in-law died.
Say again?
When my father-in-law died.
Oh.
You know, those are the situations that scares me being those unexpected things are just that's tough. Sorry to hear that, buddy.
But you made it through your son going to prison. You'll snap. Is this a fall? I mean, is this a fall or is it a failure? What do you think?
It's just a fall. I mean, it's not. I don't know.
So
I mean, I'm not going to fail.
Right. Well, what's your plan what's your start date and how do you plan on snapping out of this?
I don't know yet. It's just now hitting me. I mean,
The fact that you called in is great, and that's what we need to do in these situations is talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Nate.
Pick up
I don't
the
know
phone.
if you heard him on earlier, just talking about having someone either when you do fall or when you feel like you're gonna fall that you can call and just vent it to.
that's why I called you. That's why I sent it in the text. You know.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
You know, I was an asshole the other night messing with you. You know.
Dude, I was going through the funk too. Something's my
We
brain juice.
we always say the wrong thing is at the wrong time. That's what we have in common.
So, well, man, we're here for you. We'll call and check on you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll get through it. You're not driving or doing anything, and you're home, right?
I'm sitting at home. I just got out the jacuzzi and I'm fucking just the funeral's Monday.
Well, you got to just I don't know. It's so tough, David. I wish I had words because I'm not going through what you're going through, but you got to realize that the pain is going to be there whether you drink or not. But are you going to add to the pain by drinking through it? It's so easy for me.
You can't go to a funeral drunk.
It's so easy for me to say these things because I'm not sitting in your where you are right now. It's tough.
Right.
I don't know what, but you got to look at the long haul of where you want to be, where your family wants you to be, where your father-in-law would want you to be.
Yeah, and getting that, check out the private group. I know you're a member of it, but everyone here is reaching out. The comments are just going crazy for you. So get in that private group
And you know what?
discuss it.
The group, I'm starting to read some of these.
Yeah.
And you start to recognize names, and this is where a family is.
Yeah, it's a community.
You know, it is a community, and we're all in this together. And I don't know. I would love to see this thing growing. I would love to just. I love that.
Now that I'm not doing it by myself, and you're
Yeah.
you could take a couple of days away from me once we get you set up, because it's just
not according to what's her name?
Yeah, yeah, you're on the way. No, all the comments are Jeff. No one said Carl. Not once has said funny comment, Tom. But Carl was out $500 because I blew my nose 5 times.
But you know, David, it's like your thing. I'd love to read what you're going through because the only way I'm going to get better and get stronger is by learning, you know, what you were feeling, what made you drink, what is going to make you not drink tomorrow. Those are the tools we all gotta just. You gotta rely on the group, and the group's got to rely on you. There's no way we can get better, and we're all going to have tough times. I mean, that's the only reason why we have to rely on each other is to get through those times. And when I'm down, you're going to be up, and or the group's going to be up. And when the group, you and I are going to be up when Tom's down. That's the only way we're going to get through all this stuff together.
I understand that. I mean, we've helped each other through so much shit. It just.
But I need to learn what is working for you, what's not working for you through this, because who knows, I'm going to be the next to go through this.
Right.
We all are.
Oh,
And that's what, I'm asking you to help me because I don't have the answers, and I want to get through these tough times, and I need to learn from people that have gone through it, of what does work, what doesn't work. So put that stuff down, and that's where that group, we got to just grow this thing.
Yeah, and we're here for one reason, to get better, to be better people,
right.
to not drink, and to lead better lives.
And we're all going to have the lows. And that's collectively as a group we can get through it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, brother, we love you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay.
I appreciate your call.
Take care, Dave. Take care.
See you, David.
See you, buddy.
Thank you, Tom.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Wow. So yeah, that's a lot of people love you, David. Love you, Dave. Everybody. Carl says take this time now and try to go to rehab. Dave, man, you are so much like the rest of us. You should consider getting someone taking you to rehab while you're drunk. You cannot think rationally right now and won't tomorrow. That's interesting. Penny Bishop hanging her, David.
When I went into rehab, I was telling someone the other day, the day I checked myself in, I did not drink because I thought they were going to say, I'm sorry. You'll have to come back. You've been drinking.
Well, someone said they wouldn't take them because they weren't drunk.
Oh, I talked to so many people that came in, and they said they were lit when they walked in, and they held them in the little private room a little longer than they did me. But I thought, I blew a 0.0 because I thought they were going to tell me to go home and come back when I was ready to rehab. So
that's interesting.
If I had known, no, I'm not recommending that to anyone. But
well, it's been a man. Thanks for making the drive again. This is great. And like I said,
I love it.
I'm starting. And look, I love the group. I talk to most of these people daily, but I catch myself. The family's like, well, can you stay home tonight? Can you? I need some time. So I'm resenting it a tad, but I love it and I need it. I definitely need it. So, but
if you don't stay sober though, your family's not going to have you at all.
Yeah. Well, you want the other option?
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me, I'm okay with the other option. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, but I'm trying to make a point. So, all right, guys, we love you. We'll see you next time. Jeff Grant, thanks for coming in. And Nate, wow, he kicked ass. He was great.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time here on Sober Talk. Ow.